Okay, so joining us on Avioncast here at the IATA 80th AGM in Dubai is Maher Koubaa, who is the Executive Vice President of EMEA for Amadeus. Thanks for hosting us in your amazing lounge. It's very, very quiet and serene in here, but it's the start of the show, so I'm sure it's going to get a little bit more hectic over the next few days.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will, and thanks for having me today.
No problems. So let's just start about the fact that we're here in Dubai for this event. Last year it was in Istanbul. I think the year before that it was in Doha.
Yes.
What does that say about this region as a growing influence in terms of the global aviation sector?
No, it does a lot say about how the Middle East is booming in terms of connecting the East and the West and becoming as well a platform for all the people for travel to come together and all the people coming from East and West coming here into this part of the world. It as well demonstrates the commitment and the investment in terms of infrastructure, in terms of as well the commitment to be not only a place which is used to be known for, let's say, fuel and actually much more kind of promoting tourism, promoting as well all the kind of type of event. And it's a great that to have all the IATA AGM for the third time in the Middle East and Turkey and Africa region.
Yeah, there's going to be 1,500 people here this week for this event. A lot of airlines, Emirates obviously the host airline being in Dubai, but we've got used to these airline brands now as becoming part of the aviation industry. We can talk about them like we used to do with BA and Virgin and so on, Delta. But there's going to be emerging ones as well, isn't there? I mean, we're seeing the awakening of Saudi Arabia. So who knows what's going to happen in this area?
So when you look at the this part of the world, I mean, there's like a double-digit growth in terms of the number of passengers. Obviously, here you have Dubai, the number one international airport in the world from a traffic perspective. I think when you look at the ambition of those airlines, they want to conquer the world. And what is interesting here as well is the fact that those airlines are very much aligned with the vision of what the countries want to do. You mentioned KSA. There's like KSA 2030. And then you have all kind of alignment of all kind of really stakeholders of the whole travel ecosystem coming together. That's including the airline, the airport, the civil aviation, tourism board, are fully aligned around kind of the same vision and the things. And then probably you come in here to Dubai, you saw it at the time you stepped in Dubai here, you feel like really probably you got like a SIM card handed to you from the customs, which tells a lot, in terms of what is really the thinking and the alignment of all the stakeholders around being really a great host, a great hospitality, and a great place where people want to come and connect and place. So very much bullish in terms of the growth. I mean, the investment are huge. We have seen a lot of investments coming. Dubai, a new airport, $35 billion investment that will be the new home for Emirates. We have seen the new Etihad terminal in Abu Dhabi. We have seen Riyadh is coming with a very large 120 million passengers airport. You see as well Neom, Red Sea, second phase of Istanbul airport, 200 million passengers. And like the sky is the limit, no?
Well, it certainly is. And all that what you just listed there is only in this. I guess it's in this region.
Absolutely.
You've also got major developments in China and India and so on. It does reflect a general buoyancy in the aviation industry post COVID. So, and that will be talked about this week, no doubt. What's your assessment of where the industry is in terms of its comeback from COVID and how it's growing for the future?
Yeah, I think we have sort of recovered right now in terms of the from a traffic perspective in terms of the COVID, but at the same time as well, travel remains strong, in the way that we see it from when you look at the households kind of priorities, they prioritize the experience of travel versus goods, buying goods, and we see actually a lot of demand continue to be solid, and the only question remains is that how to cope with that demand in terms of the supply. In terms of the capacity for the aviation to cope with the demand, but it's come very much strong, and we see almost like you look at this part of the world, we're talking about like 4% year-over-year growth and CAGR for the next few years, which means when you look at of course so here is like what's happening in India, in China, and South and Eastern Asia in general. We are talking about really 6% to 7% CAGR growth. So we're talking about a massive propensity for travel that is coming, and capacity to will need to be there in order to cope with that travel.
So do you think we're on track recovery-wise post-COVID? There was a number of predictions as we went into COVID about how long the industry would take to bounce back. Are we ahead of schedule, firstly? And then are we seeing the same amount of coverage, globally? China was late to the game, obviously. It opened up later. So where are we in that sense?
So I think we're done with the recovery when it comes to probably Americas and EMEA region. APAC still has to, there's still a bit of recovery still in APAC. It was a bit late in, as you said, China and the rest of the Asia-Pac region. But overall as well, it depends on the kind of the segment. Of course, leisure was the first kind of segment we have seen a strong recovery. Now kind of the new things that happen is we see corporate travel is coming back finally.
It is
coming back again, and we see better numbers across kind of the board in terms of corporate travel.
Yeah.
Do we go back into 2019 numbers in terms of corporate travel? I mean, I'm not sure, even if the question remained really, really relevant, but we see it's a strong coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think leisure, I think we have seen as well, like, when we look at corporate travel, it used to be, we talked about like our business travel. It's now the let's say, leisure travel that is coming, which is people traveling for leisure, but actually they have the same behavior, the same as business travel. And that's interesting that, for the airlines as well to match that demand.
Yeah, that has been a big question, is will that corporate travel, the guys who went into the plane and always turned left and were the real profit drivers for the industry, whether that comes back like it used to do. But I guess in some ways you can see this week, 1,500 people in Dubai, we go to many events and they seem to be very, very busy. People are traveling for those big events, and they're the ones who will be turning left when they get to the aircraft. So that seems to be a healthy indication.
Absolutely. I think people, they have experienced doing the kind of really, let's say, the likes of Teams and Zoom and everything, and I think they value a lot, the people connecting with each other, speaking to people. Doing business at the end of the day is people buying from people, and I think that's remain kind of a strength of this industry, of bringing people together, and I think this event is a great example of that.
You said the big challenge, or one of the big challenges, is there's all this demand, and actually the difficult aspect is keeping up with on the supply side. And there's many reasons for that, to do with engineering and all this stuff, the new aircraft deliveries, etc. But one of the other sort of things that I guess growth in the industry is highlighting is sustainability, and then technology can play a part in all that. So let's talk about the tech side of things. You're a tech company in the industry. Where we are today in Dubai, it's a real pioneer of technologies. So how do you feel technology will help the industry to sustain this growth, but in a sustainable manner, so that it can say the industry is trying to be a good global partner in terms of the environment, etc.
So when you look at the airline industry growth, it comes down for me into two factors. One is it's about traffic growth, which we talked about already. Kind of travel will continue to grow at 4 or 5% CAGR on an annual basis. But then it has to be as well combined with the growth in terms of margin that airlines or others will be extracting per travelers. So it sounds like a very easy or kind of a strategy in terms of driving the growth of the airline industry. But then when you talk about the execution, that's kind of really, it's a very complex one. Now you have to combine both kind of really massive efficiencies in the way that you're driving your operations, and you combine that as well with playing in the game of differentiation to deliver customized and personalized offer to the customers. And here I think the technology, this is where technology would become sort of essential, or the name of the game, in order to deliver on that growth. And from that perspective, so I think the airlines in general, they're seeing that in one hand, when you look at about how to differentiate, the move to retailing will be sort of one of the solutions to do that. And I think that's an important factor in driving sort of let's say the change. But of course that technology will not be enough only. It requires as well a transformation. That transformation, because I think we talk about sort of a legacy of 70 years of PNR, ticketing, RBDs and everything, that has to come as well. And in the meantime, you said it's how this is sustainable. Sustainable in the way that it has to come as well with simplification. It comes with simplification in the way we do things, and as well focus on to move from sort of into let's say a travel-centric. It's easy to say travel-centric, but then think about as well how to make it simpler and consistent for the traveler. It's not just about only in terms of the offer, but as well when it comes to deliver that in terms of the operations, what happens during disruptions. So making sure that the foundations are right to support kind of that growth.
Do you feel, especially with COVID, the biggest disruption the industry's ever had to cope with, that momentum is there to do this now? It was happening anyway, especially on the retail front with the move to NDC and modernisation of the retail offer, but this goes deeper than that, doesn't it? It's disruption, it's biometrics in airports and so on. A lot of talk about that.
Absolutely.
It seems to be happening. Do you get the sense that it is happening and that we'll be here in 5 years' time and talk about a very different experience?
Absolutely, it is happening. I think probably you came through Dubai and you're probably going through completely seamless experience, and probably people will be leaving Dubai as well. We go probably don't have to see anyone. You stop at seeing any agent in there because you have a self-service capability, you have touchless capability, you have fully automated gate management, you have fully automated border control, and I think so it is happening. And I think when we look at the airlines or kind of the whole ecosystem working with the airport, is to say how to really to do more with less. No? So how to kind of really take that advantage of all the new technology that was not there a few years back. When you talk about AI, when you talk about biometrics, when you talk about how to drive the possibility to automate the process, how to improve the productivity, how to improve as well the whole kind of journey end to end for the traveler. I think there's a big opportunity, and now it's as well how to be relevant for the traveler through the end to end experience through all the kind of customer journey.
Tell us about what role Amadeus plays in all this. You are a very big tech company. You invest a lot in R&D. We know this in Europe, based in Europe, but obviously for global partners. Traditionally came out of the sort of the retail distribution side of things, but you do a lot more than that now. So just talk about the areas where Amadeus is going to make a difference in the next few years.
Yeah, I think, look, we from an Amadeus perspective, of course, as you said, we invest heavily in technology. Today we are sitting in a lounge here in Dubai. It's called 1439.
Right.
The reason
explain that, yeah.
1439 is because this is the number of patents we have.
Okay.
So we wanted to display that, which is sort of as well part of our DNA to be innovative, to continue to invest. Last year,
so just 1,439 technology patents currently sort of live in the industry.
Absolutely from Amadeus, and I think we're not stopping there. We continue to invest. We believe that our secret sauce is to continue to combine, let's say, our investment in technology, combined with our people expertise, combined with as well, our capability to deliver and the richness of our sort of portfolio, that makes a kind of really a big difference for us in terms of the driving a change into the industry. Now we have to do that at scale. We have to do that with the global reach, and I think that's we're trying to have the means of delivering on that. Last year alone, we have invested 1.1 billion euros in terms of R&D. We continue as well to attract talent, because I think that's very important.
We can talk about that in a minute. That's a key issue, isn't it?
And for us as well, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a framework of collaboration within this industry. Because I think when we talk about really how much a massive undertaking it is to transform the industry and move to the new world, and actually when we say the new world, it's actually what our travelers are expecting today. They are actually comparing the travel vertical, what they're getting in terms of
expectations are only going up, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And the more the industry promises, the more you've got to meet those.
Exactly. So I think it's how kind of really to cope with that and making sure that we remain kind of sort of into relevant from that perspective. So I think probably there is a momentum happening right now in the industry, and there is fundamentally an alignment that this industry need to transform. There is all the technology available to do it, And I feel like, we are trying to help work with our partners, and whether, from an airline perspective or travel sellers or airports, the whole kind of ecosystem to come together and deliver that on that journey.
Yeah. So I know you've got a focus particularly on payments. You launched something called Outpace, I think it was last year, wasn't it? It was fairly recent anyway, which is a payments division. So it's a whole payments area that's key for the retail side of things. You've also invested in biometrics as well, so you're doing the biometrics thing. So what are the sort of the key priorities for Amadeus?
No, what we're trying to do is really to making sure that we look at the whole kind of end-to-end journey, and making sure that we for any part of the whole ecosystem we deliver the means of one platform. For example, you mentioned about payment, so how to make sure for payment that is seamless to deliver on that experience, whether you are at the airport, whether you are on kind of the website, whether you're on mobile, or kind of in a different part of the phase of let's say managing your self-service capability or change or disruption, whatever. So we're trying to make that really seamlessly available. And the other thing as well, we're trying to deliver what they call cracks between what's happening today in terms of we move from a siloed approach in terms of how the industry was set up. Airports are working separately from the airlines. We're trying to bring that together by sharing data, by bringing as well, look at the whole kind of passenger experience from an end-to-end. So, we're trying to bring, our expertise on the airline side along with the airport, and where we have like the need in terms of bringing much more innovation, etc. So that's the recent acquisition we have done with Visionbox to deliver that kind of really seamless experience and combine this expertise all together to be delivering that kind of really traveler a unique experience, so we make it reality. I think that's our really objective.
This seems to be the biggest challenge, is that there's various technologies available. Visionbox you mentioned, the biometrics and the payment side of things. But to make it all work together, there's so much collaboration that's required because there's so many different players involved. Do you think there's a sense that people are prepared to collaborate? Because often collaboration means letting data be available to maybe sometimes competitors or to the industry at large, and that's a very difficult thing for some corporations to sort of let go. Is there that sense of we're all in this together? There's an openness to share, share technology, share best practice. Do you think that's going to happen? And there's always going to be a degree, I'm sure, of companies keeping their secret sauce. But actually, if we're going to get to where you're talking, we need to have more collaboration in the industry.
I think there's no choice. No, I believe there's no choice. We have to, if we want to really do the transformation of the whole industry, we have to come all together, and we have to create that opportunity for us. We're saying no one can do it by itself. So so it has to be come together in terms of being able to have all the data behind, of course. And if we want to talk about like using of AI capability without data and being able to share the data, that's going to be difficult. But I think I would say the why that our technology today is available. It is the way we design, for example, Neview, which is our offer and order offering to the market. It is designed on the basis of being modular, on being open, on being as well available where for the let's say our customers to pick and choose like a Lego, to say okay, this is how I'm gonna, and I might involve as well working with our competitions, but as well we're trying as well to build an ecosystem of partnerships. And examples what we're doing with Microsoft, with Adobe, and many others. So making sure that we take sort of an ecosystem approach rather than just I'm gonna do only by my own.
And also be open to the real innovators, the startups who may have an answer to something out there that you wouldn't do yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, we're actually sponsoring that very much. So we have like really what we call Amadeus Ventures. First of all, we are trying to support many startups in terms of the ecosystems who will come and develop and innovate on our platform. And then as well, we're trying to say, okay, so when you look at the whole partnership model for those startups to come and deliver things or innovation that are kind of really very valuable for our customers, and that becomes very handy. So it's actually increased the value of the Amadeus platform by having much more startups or much more companies who come and develop on our platform. So it's increased the value proposition of Amadeus rather than the opposite.
We mentioned people earlier on, and all the things we've talked about, possibly people is the biggest challenge, because none of this really happens without people. Ultimately, it's a customer service industry. You need either customer facing people, but there's lots of people behind the scenes. in engineering, in cargo, and all this requires hands-on people. And it's hard to. What COVID did teach us is when they leave the industry, it's hard to get them back. And also, the industry is highly regulated, so you can't just suddenly become an engineer overnight, or you need. It's a long process, and the industry is struggling with that at the minute. What does it need? What does the industry in general need to do to sort of portray itself as a great employer, somewhere where young people in particular want to come and work?
So if I take it from the perspective of Amadeus now, we have our challenges during the COVID of retaining kind of really key people, and I think we have done a good job in making sure that we retain our key talent into the organization, and we look at it much more from a long-term perspective, not from a short-term. And we knew that at some point we want to make sure that when after there is like the aftermath of COVID, we want to be kind of really taking the next steps in terms of our investment and strategy. So from that perspective, I think what we are doing, going back to the number of investment we're doing an R&D perspective. So we take things in terms of saying, okay, we're working on mission critical systems. We're using it, the latest technology in terms of cloud computing and others, and then you do it at scale, and you do it with the global reach. And when you combine all of this, you are like we are playing in the F1 of technology.
Right.
Okay. And when you do that, so of course
that's what excites people to
absolutely
want to join industry.
Because people are coming and saying, hey, I would like to be part of that, and I would like really. We're solving very complex problems sometimes when it comes to search and shopping. That you need to make sure that all this kind of complex software comes very handy instantly to the phone of the traveler, and it has to be instantly accurate, etc., etc. So we're talking about this type of problems that we're trying to solve, and of course that we're trying to make it simple, and hiding all this complexity behind. So and that's of course
it's an amazing technological challenge. For people who are minded that way, they love that kind of challenge.
So with that, I think we have been able to grow our workforce. We give as well a very important key pillar of our people is that goes to an R&D. And I think we have been able to attract talent. One thing which is for me is a strong indicator how we make it attractive for our to retain our talent is that some of the people have left during the COVID to explore because they were attracted by some of the
other sectors, maybe
other sectors and everything, and became as well working remotely, became actually approachable or easy for them to work. They came back. They came back and they like the culture. They like we have an engineering culture. We work on all this kind of really new challenges that we are solving, and plus we are not able to attract only our talking about it, but as well we have those strategic partnerships like the one, for example, with Microsoft. So immediately when we talked about the Gen AI, so immediately the whole kind of exercise within Amadeus came back. How to gonna use Gen AI across the board, and how to make AI becomes like everywhere now, everywhere, not on everywhere used for internal, for external, for customer facing. So a lot of innovation happening, and of course that becomes like a magnet.
If you're not in AI these days, then
but it becomes as well a magnet for for people and for hiring people and talent and etc. So. And then we are going as well we're doing it globally. So it's not just only our R&D center in Nice, so we do it actually across the board, and that's a great as well richness that brings to Amadeus, where we go where talent are.
I know you have a very nice tech center in Nice, which is a very attractive place to go and work if you're a techie and you're but you can do this anywhere now.
No, but actually we're actually going we have now Bogota, we have Istanbul, we have Philippines, we have of course India, we have many other places around the world. So we go where, because of the fact that we are a global player as well, and as well we have as well strong ambition we go into include as well diversification in our talent, and I think that's a great.
So diversification was the last thing I was going to talk about, because at the IATA AGM they will be celebrating women in travel with awards, and that's one aspect of diversity. But there's many others, and every industry is now talking this way, and it's important. No one doubts that. Is the industry doing enough on that? Do you think it is a global industry? So you think you're in a good position to sort of drive people in from all sort of cultures and backgrounds. What can travel do, or aviation do more of in order to make sure that it's got that diversity of workforce, especially women, but maybe just more generally?
Yeah, I think. Look, I mean, we are. I think we are. We have a great culture within Amadeus of promoting people from all genders, from all races, from all religions, etc. So that's fundamentally, it's very important. It's our DNA and our culture. So I think that's a fundamental thing. And this is not something that you invent overnight because you have a target or you have an objective. It's you have it, then it will live with you, and I think that's very important. Now, of course, we are a signatory of the 25 by 25, but I can tell you on that one, we are already ahead of the curve.
And that just 25 by 25 is the IATA.
Yeah, exactly. So we are already ahead of the curve.
Right.
It's actually as well something that you install as well into the culture of the company, in the way that we are something when we talk about like the performance and how we are doing things. So we are actually tracking our sustainability indexes, KPIs, etc. So we take it really at heart and making sure that we deliver on that and actually create an environment where performance, it's available. People, they're seeing the culture of growth and independent, who they are, and create an environment, a safe environment within the company where people can come as they are and focus much more on how to deliver value, how to kind of get promoted, how to get kind of grow for the and deliver on that for our stakeholders, for our people, for everyone, for the industry.
And that measure of sustainability is actually. Yes. You think it's separate to the workforce, but actually it's wrapped up in the same issue, because a younger workforce, they're looking around at sectors and they want to be working for a sector or an industry that they feel is doing good, is sustainable, and they'll choose not to work for a sector if they don't feel that's the case.
Yeah, right? And not only that as well. I think it's becoming as well. I think when you look at sustainability in the way that companies want to work with companies like they are, they're like themselves.
They reflect themselves.
They reflect themselves. So what I'm trying to say is that it becomes as well. So when we are working with other companies, we feel like really do we have the same attitude towards kind of the sustainability approach, and we working together, and becomes an important factor and criteria in the way that companies want to work with other companies. Yeah. So it becomes as well a differentiator and a USP for us in the way that we do business. And of course, in terms of attracting kind of talent, no doubt. I think it's an evidence that people would like to come to saying, okay, I work. They take pride in where the company they're working for.
They want to tell their family and friends. You wouldn't believe what I'm doing for a living.
Absolutely,
really exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's so it's a really exciting moment overall. And
Yeah, good. Look, our time is up, but Maher, thanks very much for inviting me into your very serene lounge. It's 40 degrees outside. There's a lot of people out there milling around and having chats, and here it's calm and serene. There's beautiful music, and it's very nice to look at. So thanks for inviting us to have this chat. And,
thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today, and looking forward to an exceptional IATA AGM. So hopefully we'll hear a lot from the airline CEOs and from the industry partners today, and of course, looking forward to that.
There'll be lots to talk about. So look, thanks for joining us on ABN Cast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're delighted that our friends at Amadeus have agreed to be the launch sponsor for ABN Cast. And while they do not endorse the opinions and views expressed, they are keen to support a new forum for open discussion and debate around the future of aviation. Amadeus's technology powers the global travel and tourism industry, inspiring more open ways of working, more connected ways of thinking, always with an eye on how the industry can evolve, on how the travel industry can better serve travellers, bring people together, explore new experiences, and do business. Travel should be meaningful and personal, and it must be centred around the traveller, which is why Amadeus is investing to create their technology to put more power into people's hands. As an industry, we only progress by working together, and Amadeus's open platform is connecting the entire global travel and hospitality ecosystem. Our environment, our communities, and our destinations matter. Together with our customers and industry partners, Amadeus is working to make travel a force for social and environmental good, and ABN Cast will be placing a specific focus on these themes in future editions. To find out more, visit www.amadeus.com and make sure you subscribe to ABN Cast, which you can do on Aviation Business News' YouTube channel or on Spotify, so you don't miss out on any future edition. And please tell your friends and colleagues all about us. Thanks very much.